Hello, welcome to The Peer Perspective. I'm Ava.
I'm Amelia.
I'm Sadie.
We are students at Madison High School in New Jersey, highlighting the mental health struggles that high school students endure. In this episode, we'll talk about the transition from middle school to freshman year and how mental health changes across the 4 years of high school with the pressure of college and adulthood.
We've all heard of mental health and the tolls that it can take on students. Entering high school is a scary time. You go from being the oldest and coolest 8th graders to being the absolute bottom of the food chain in high school. Being freshly 14 years old and entering a much bigger school where your new peers are legal adults who tower over you is a difficult adjustment for most. But each grade feels the effects of high school in a different way. Whether you're a sophomore or junior facing AP classes in the beginning of the SAT season, or you're struggling with senioritis and where to go to college, mental health matters for all grades, and each grade is affected differently. We wanted to explore the different challenges each grade faces and how it affects those students, especially as upperclassmen who've experienced these firsthand. In this episode, we'll be diving into the transition from middle school to high school and how this affects students' mental health. I'm Amelia, a senior at MHS. When I was in 8th grade, I was so scared of coming to the high school. The kids seemed so old, and some of my middle school friends were going to different high schools. I didn't know how to get to any of my classes, and it was really stressful. Looking back, I wish I knew how many other freshmen felt the same way as me.
I'm Sadie, a junior at MHS, and something that was difficult with the transition from middle school to high school was not knowing my way around the building and trying out new things. I felt overstressed with heavy workloads and felt like I was extremely alone in my classes. With trying out for sports teams and managing tons of classes, my anxiety and stress spiked, making everything feel so out of control.
I'm Ava, a senior at MHS, and my first memory of high school is joining the cross-country team, which was a new sport for me. This helped me get to know my grade and other grades as well. Other memories I have from the beginning of high school are debating where to sit for lunch with my friends, walking into the wrong classroom, and not understanding the drop schedule at all. It took getting used to, but I found my support system within my peers and teachers, and I was a lot more confident. Throughout my freshman year, I experienced a lot of anxiety surrounding certain classes and dealt with panic attacks within the classroom. I didn't know what to do because my life felt like it was completely shifting. When I learned about Miss Russo, the student assistant counselor, I felt at ease. She allowed me to talk to her about my anxiety and tools on how to cope in high levels of distress. Her upbeat and comforting personality made me feel supported and felt like I wasn't alone. She also helped me find ways to communicate with my teachers with what I was going through.
Hi, we're here with our first podcast guest.
Hi, my name's Miss Russo.
So what is your role here at Madison High School?
So I am the student assistance counselor. Essentially, I support our school counselors in seeing students who are looking for some support throughout the day, whether they're having a bad day or it's something a little bit deeper than that. And I just provide individual counseling.
Awesome. So in the transition from middle school to freshman year, I know that it can be a really big and scary thing. What are some things that you find are the most difficult for students during this transition?
I feel like it's the expectation that high school brings. I think it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot more comparing ourselves to others and what classes is everyone taking and what clubs or sports are they participating in. And I think people just feel put on the spot to start performing, and as though, if you're someone who wants to go to a university after high school, that, oh my gosh, they're going to be looking at these 4 years starting now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do you think that all high schools should have a student assistant counselor?
I'm a little biased, but I do think so. I feel as though our school counselors have so many hats that they put on, and it's really great to just be here and be able to meet with the students who need a little bit more support during the day, and when someone's, coming in and they might be having a panic attack or crying from something that happened, to be able to just bring them in and be able to meet with them when our school counselors are doing, again, one of the other million things that they do.
So what are some tools that you recommend for students having a difficult time with the transition into high school?
I feel like I would say, in terms of tools, joining anything and everything, right? Clubs, sports, if you're into that. Even here, we have so many different things. We have Connection Club, we have Video Game Club, somewhere that you feel welcome and somewhere that you connect with. And I think seeking out support, like I do have students who really maybe don't feel like they have a big friend group, and they just come in here and vent, honestly, and it's at least someone to connect with and talk to during the day.
Awesome. So what do you find are the most common stressors for freshmen in high school?
Freshmen, I would say, I think it's a lot of conflict with peers and within their friend groups. You know, friendships are a form of relationships, and we still have to consider like communication styles and love languages, and all these, you know, boundaries, all these things that we have to consider. But you're going from like friends you had maybe in elementary school, middle school, and now all these different players are in the mix. And I think it just leads to a lot of people changing and growing and coming out of, you know, their shell, but that could lead to conflict. So, yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything in particular that made you want to become a student assistant counselor?
I think I was always interested in the motivation behind people's behaviors and their thoughts. I love connecting with people. I think it's such a special way to connect with people. And I love working in a school. I think like you guys are all so fun, and it's such a fun age. And yeah, it's just really special.
Awesome.
What are the top 3 tools you recommend students keep in their toolbox when having a hard day at school?
I would say that for everyone it could be different, right? In general, I think some kind of breathing technique or meditation tool, right? Whether that's like 4 square breathing, or you do like 5-finger breathing, something that you can easily do to help regulate your nervous system. I would also say, again, something that personally calms you down, whether that's something for journaling and prompts, or a fidget or something like that. And then third, not necessarily a thing, but maybe just that safe person, right? Whether it's a staff member or a parent or guardian or a friend that you can go and talk to. And I would definitely plan it out too, because sometimes when we're in that moment, we're like, oh my gosh, who can I talk to? What can I do? So almost making a plan for that and building your own toolbox based on what you feel like you need and could get quickly in that moment.
Perfect.
Thank you.
That's all for our first episode of the Peer Perspective podcast. Thank you for listening from our hosts, Amelia, Ava, and Sadie. And thank you to our special guest, Mrs. Russo. We will see you next week.